one, go!
Welcome to the Set Count, your source for tournament results, storylines, and analytics set to the tune of your speakers. I'm your host, Vayseth, and I'm joined today by... Oh wait, we're not joined today at all by Suar. Suar is taking a break this week, so instead it's just you and me, baby. How you doing, Sage?
I'm doing good, man. We have no Suar to provide us his lovely PG stats and use a lot of large words.
No. He did provide us with the PG stats.
He did. Well, yeah, he did. He did give us the numbers.
Yeah, no, man, he was super happy about PG stats. He just loves Trent. He just loves stats, and not really into any of the drama that's going on, which is great because we have a lot of drama we can talk about today. So
there definitely is drama. And he also likes spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets. He and I are exact opposites on that one, dude. Every time he sends me like a PG stats spreadsheet to like look over before he releases it, I open it and it's just nonsense, and I close it. I'm like, looks good. I just tell him looks good every time.
I know he's really good at them, but I like spreadsheets too. I like to be organized. I'm just bad at them, as you can tell, because our spreadsheets that I have for the set count are pretty bad.
I hate spreadsheets.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer Word, but whatever. So we're Suarless, but Sage and I, the Midwest boys, are going to take this show home. But first, we're going to attempt to honor Suar by running the numbers.
It's time for the numbers.
So the numbers. It's my initial opening Suar impersonation.
We thought we'd try to impersonate him just to pretend that he's here, but neither of us are any good at it at all.
That's my only mannerism understanding, is that every time we do the numbers, he opens with, so the numbers.
Dude, that's basically all we had, so we went with that.
All right. Anyways, CEO Dreamland in Orlando, Florida had 376 entrants, taken by 0 with his Diddy Kong. Impressive showing, as always. Mr. R, though, almost did some good work with Cloud.
No, I mean...
Got second.
I mean, that wasn't the first time he did it. That Big House 6... the tournament we were at, I think that was the first time he actually unveiled the Cloud to beat Buzz, actually, again.
That set was crazy, and his pop-off was pretty good.
Right, I was kind of expecting the same thing again, but I was like, I can't expect the same thing again, because at the time, Buzz was kind of a bracket demon for him, if I remember correctly, and,
yeah.
I think Mr. R has beaten 0 once, and I don't know, it's been inconsistent lately with 0, not getting first, but it was about time for him to bounce back, and he went through this whole tournament, I believe, without dropping a set, once again dominating, and it was pretty entertaining to watch what we could watch of it, but more on that later.
Yeah, and then we had Sumabato 17 in Osaka, Japan.
Good pronunciation.
223 entrants, taken by Edge with his Diddy Kong. I actually don't have who came in second that match, or that tournament, and I didn't watch, so unfortunately I don't know who was the second place on that one.
Yeah, no, it actually doesn't matter because Edge winning again is kind of a huge thing. So have you heard of Edge?
I know of Edge. He came here once, right?
That I honestly don't know, but I
thought he was here for Apex.
He
the
might
first
have
Apex.
No, I actually don't remember. I know there was one random guy from Hokkaido I've never seen again. Then we had Abadango and Ayuha. There was less than 8 of them at Apex 2015. But anyway, Edge dominated the game in the very early beginnings of it. He played Sheik. I forgot exactly how many Smabatos he won, but it was pretty dominant on his end. There was him and Renai, and he was always in that top contention when Sheik was still good. Ever since Sheik got nerfed, he never really found a new home. And he's been working on Fox and kind of like Niatono, just bouncing back and forth about who to use now that Sheik is weaker. And he's finally settled on Diddy, and for him to finally not only make top 8 but to win one of their biggest tournament series, Sumabato is always huge, always a couple hundred people. It's big news. So
all right. So moving on, we have the Gathering 2017 in Hamar, Norway. With 120 entrants, I was taken by Pact with his Mario. Again, interesting. I didn't even realize Norway was hosting a tournament last weekend, but pretty cool to see that they were able to pull out 120. And then lastly, we have Roll Dynasty Tournament in Valencia, Spain, with 106 entrants, taken by I'm probably gonna butcher this, but Rydell.
I believe it's Rydell. I
Could be-
apologize.
Could be Riddle. It's Rydle.
Yeah.
But it was taken by Rydell. I'm just gonna go with Rydell with his Bayonetta. So interesting to see two different tournaments from like at 120 and 106 entrants respectively on like opposite sides of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk to C5, I think that's kind of like what he said, right? Like, Europe always has, like, these over 100-person tournaments, but they're kind of, like, in their own areas, and that just kind of illustrates that they have 120 in Norway, 106 in Spain. Kind of almost like the Midwest in some ways, because I know we've had Michigan and Chicago tournaments, maybe even Windsor tournaments that had, like, 100 each, you know? So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's like if you had a tournament in Virginia the same day as a tournament in, like, Colorado. Like, they're not going to overlap. You might get, like, a top player that gets flown out or something, but
yeah, Norway and
ultimately,
Spain.
like, you running your monthly on that is not a big deal.
Yeah, like, Norway and Spain aren't exactly close. And, like, it's not like Dreamland or Smabato is going to, like, affect their numbers at all, you know?
Yeah, it's just, like,
maybe stream numbers, but that's about it.
I'd love to see it start to affect numbers and, like, start to see all these tournaments in Europe get a little more exposure. Because, like, I've never seen Pact or Rydell play, and it's like, if they're winning tournaments, maybe I want to.
Yeah, I mean, but it is Mario or Bayonetta. I mean, do you want to do that?
Hey, I kind of like Bayonetta. Like, a little bit of me. But then also I hate her. There's, like,
I was
there's
gonna say,
love-hate. Like, sometimes she does really cool stuff, and then other times I'm just like, man, I hate this character so much.
I know, I was like, wait, I thought you're, like, one of the number one people who hate Bayonetta.
No, I think she's cool as a character, and I think her concept was really cool, and it just like executed poorly.
Yeah, when she can do a.
I think they nerfed her. I think they nerfed her incorrectly.
Yeah, I mean, but when she can do like things that nobody else can do, it's kind of like a weird balance issue. Like the whole fact that she can get hit but R and still get out of it, or
It's just like a frame one air dodge technically.
Right. So, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, that's fine. I think honestly...
being able to upbeat twice?
Yeah. I mean, when she was still
it's just
super
certain
broken...
things that, like, other characters don't get that she gets all of a sudden that makes her crazy.
She just has so much. When she was first broken and everyone was like, nerf her! The thing I really wanted to happen, I was like, leave everything except maybe make Witch Time worse and just make it so that after second up B, she just goes into freefall.
Ooh, that would be really good.
That was like my dream. I was like, she would drop, she'd still have like, and like leave dive kick and all that good stuff. Like, so if she could carry you off the top with second up B, but then she's in free fall and now she can't like do anything to escape.
Oh yeah, she can't finish with up air either or whatever.
Yeah, so like you would have to, you'd have to do double dive kick to up B and hope that took them off. And if it didn't, then like they could punish you for it.
Right. Interesting. Well, now we know why Suar does the numbers, because otherwise we'll just talk about Bayonetta again. But yeah, let's move right into the meat of our discussion this week, where we're going to be talking about CEO Dreamland, and there's a lot to talk about. But number one, I want to give everybody the top three. I'm not going to include our guests, like, even though that they helped. I guess just an update. Bam got 1 point for Civil War. So just in case people wanted to know, Bam got 1 point.
Bam obviously did not write the script.
Yes, he's very good at hiding it. But and Civil War was our lowest placing, where we got 3 points, 2 points, and 1 point. So that was by far our lowest one. Where actually Dreamland was, for all three of us, our highest points. We really knew what was going on, and we called this top 8 very well. So
yes,
I got
with
6
the
points.
Samsora pick.
Yeah. I got 6 points, and you and Suar got 5 points each. So that was our best score. Actually, Suar got 6 points for Dreamland, so that was technically his best score. But yeah, it was a really good, interesting tournament. We called top 8 well. But just so people know, currently between the three of us, in third place with 15 points is me. I'm in third place.
Get wrecked.
In second place with 16 points is Suar. Suar's in second place, which means you, Sage, are the champion. Yay!
At least so far. When does this end? End of the year, right? We were we're gonna go through all of 2017.
When does it end? Honestly, I think I blocked off 12, thinking that we were gonna do one a month, assuming that there's gonna be at least one major a month. But it could be more, it could be less. But
I feel like summertime, you're gonna see multiple. There's gonna be a month with 2.
I mean,
and December, I feel like as well.
Suar's not here, so we could just make that decision ourselves. Do you want to just call it the 2GG championships?
That's the end of September, right? Well, I mean, there could be something else.
No. I thought that the championships was in December.
Yeah, it is. That's the end of December, though, right? The end of it, towards Christmas. I mean, I would assume that that's going to be the last tournament, but if they do it in the beginning of December, because it's an invitational type thing, I'd imagine we'd still see a regular major tournament pop up somewhere.
Yeah, or we could go with Suar and the PGR and just finish it when CEO happens, and then our PGR Volume 3, and then into Volume 4 we do another one. I don't know. We could figure it out. We're making it up as we go. So
organized.
Yeah. I like how we said we'll make a decision without Suar, and we did not make a decision. So, basically, a lot of things happened at CEO, which none of us could see, largely because the stream was down for a long, long time. So
yeah, a really uncomfortable amount of time.
I know that you weren't even there, and when stream issues happen, even when you're not there, you freak out. So I'm sure it was awesome for you. But on Friday, what exactly happened, nobody really knows. I found some tweets that say some things. I had some DMs that say some things. But the only thing that we know for absolute sure is that the overlays were not done by the time the stream was supposed to go up.
Yeah, apparently the guy who was doing the overlays had a near-death experience that week or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what that exactly means.
Yeah, nobody does.
But here's my immediate issue with that tweet. It was that week that he had a near-death experience. Why are we still okay with deadlines a couple days or even the night before an event?
No.
How are you not getting constant images and just previews and samples so you can make revisions as you go multiple weeks out? Smash.
I don't understand how that's a big deal with people. Obviously, your overlays are one of the simplest things that you can do in advance. You built your logo for your tournament, now you can build your overlays. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, Smash is the only esport that I've ever been a part of or worked in or anything where that's been an acceptable practice.
No, I mean, this is people's jobs, people's livelihoods, and I think we should all just agree that overlays should just be done. Once you get registration open, you should start your overlays. And like you just said, we can revise them and whatnot, but seriously, that's crazy. I need to make a
unacceptable.
List. Right. We need to make a list of things. Maybe we can do a host your own event or host your own major 1-on-1 tournament, you and me. And and we can make a list of things that need to be done with deadlines and what we would go through. But I can't. I don't understand.
I rarely even see deadlines. We put deadlines in all of our invoices and all of our requests for assets and things like that. And minimum, if I don't have overlays 2 weeks before the event, I'm mad. Because we also have to convert it to our system. And so
yeah, and not only that, but if you have them even 1 week before the event, that's bad. If you have them less than a week before the event, now you're borderline not being able to do the event.
I mean, I'll get it done. Realistically, if me and another guy stayed up all night, we can get it done. But, I don't want to stay up all night.
Okay, maybe not you. Okay, any other streamer is not going to get it done. I know that you don't sleep for some reason because you're a freak of nature. You and Ori boggle my mind. You just, stay back there and never move and don't sleep. And Ori just stays at the TO desk and never leaves for any reason whatsoever. I call him a robot because I swear he doesn't use the bathroom. I don't understand.
I store sleep. I just sleep a ton at home, and then I go to an event and I don't sleep.
Yo, that's exactly what I tell people. I tell them I'm a battery. Like, and eventually, like, I will run
It
out of juice
works.
and pass out. Yeah,
Look it up, man. Sleep banks. It's a
dude.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone should get on that. That's the latest strat. But
Build
one
your sleep bank.
yeah, one thing that did happen that actually I wanted to ask you specifically was there was rumors that like either the mainstream or Gimmer's computer or something like one of the CPU fried. Now I'm not exactly super great with computers, but even I know that if someone's CPU is fried, that's like that computer's KO'd. It's done. There's no coming back from that. So in this situation, not necessarily that exact situation, but in a situation where like you have a computer just completely go down and it's unrecoverable, like what do you do?
So there's a couple things that you can do here. I mean, obviously you're gonna be offline for a little bit. Uh, you can transfer. I know VGBC and a lot of organizations run with multiple computers doing replays and like your mainstream computer and just side computers for whatever. So you transfer all your systems onto one of those. So that becomes a possibility. Or if you have hardware failures, if you have a backup, you replace it. Or if you have a like so you have like your replay computer, you can take the CPU out of that and put it into your current one. Though here's the struggle is that VGBC and a lot of stream organizations when they do remote stuff, they do with laptops. Like laptops you can't just open up and like
Ooh, yeah.
swap apart. I refuse to use laptops. I hate them. I would say like I use laptops for like minor stuff, but like for actual broadcast computers, I think laptops are useless and should be steered away from. So I use desktops for everything. So like for me, realistically, if a part went down, I would just like, and I needed to fix ASAP, I'd just drive to the nearest Best Buy and buy the part. We also do every tournament, like every major, we back up our entire computer onto a drive, like a thumb drive.
Yeah. No, actually, I was just about to ask you, like, because you just talked about doing all these overlays and like getting them on your system, and like if your system goes completely down, like I'm assuming you have backups of all of your stuff just in case something like this happens, right?
Oh yeah, our entire computer gets backed up onto a thumb drive. Like we create a repair image and like a whole. So it like realistically, we could just take our computer onto this thumb drive and like put it on another computer. We also keep all of our overlays and code and everything onto a database, like a
Oh,
server
right,
that
right,
we
right,
just
right.
maintain, and it varies. Some of it's just Google Drive, some of it's Dropbox, some of it's like onto our own system.
And everybody's gonna have different things.
Yeah, like we have our code is all done through like a whole separate thing, and then like basic images and stuff are done through Google Drive. So like realistically, I can pull out our overlays. I always upload the final product plus all my work files into my Google Drive, so like I can pull those down from any computer as long as I have internet connection.
Right. So basically, what I'm hearing from you is you have multiple backups and multiple things to like make sure that nothing happens. But and I'm sure not just you, especially Gimmer and like some of these other guys where it's like their life that they have this too. But yet we still
Right. The only
constantly
thing is
have
like,
stream issues in Smash.
yeah, you just can't back up overlays when you don't have them.
Right, 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 right. There's certain things that can be fixed, but like one of the things that concerned me was Gimmer tweeted out on Sunday after the stream crashed again, literally kind of like a Midwest Mayhem situation, but instead of just going through and playing grand finals, they delayed the tournament till the internet could be fixed, so everyone could see the rest of the top 8. But yeah, Gimmer tweeted out, and I quote, "Can't wait to get blamed for the internet going down. My favorite part when this happens at events." With 2 emojis even. So, I mean, I guess that leads me to ask you again, like, is there a significant portion of the community's blame like shifted to you guys? Because I know TOs get it. Definitely, if a stream goes down, like your event is seen as possibly like a failure. Like next to systems going down, like a stream going down is pretty much the most catastrophic thing that could happen, and like people will be talking about forever. Not to mention if you have sponsorships or whatever, all your sponsorship packages no longer go up, and I don't know like if what happened to them for not being able to stream for almost all of Friday and part of top 8 on Sunday, and like whether or not that affects numbers or whatever, but I know it affects stream numbers for sure. But anyway, back to the question. Like, do you notice that like at Midwest Mayhem 8 for example, did you get like a lot of flack for that?
So you do and you don't. It varies. For me and for us at Midwest Ma'am 8, it was like Twitch chat blames you instantly. Like you're their only connection to the event, especially guys who like literally just watch. They don't know anything about the community really. They just like watch tournaments and that's about it. And so they know these players and they know your channel. So if your channel goes down, like you're in the wrong. Like you fucked up somehow. So like you get it really bad from Twitch chat every time. And like a lot of these people, they're not going to go check Twitter for your statement. They just assume, "Oh, this channel sucks."
Yeah. Yeah, I see
so
that.
like
for
you
sure.
lose out, you really damage your reputation with the casual audience like that. Not so much. It's not as much of an issue for like people who know what's going on. Like you're not going to have like top players or like D1 or someone tweet out like, "Hey guys, why'd your stream go down?" Like they know why. But you're
Sorry,
gonna see. You'll
foreshadowing.
probably see. You'll probably see a like a Reddit post once or twice, and some people will post about it and be like, "Well, this stream sucks. Like it constantly goes down at events, whatever."
I mean, like, but that is it's what do you call it? It's very common criticism of Smash events where this kind of happens a lot.
Yeah, maybe if we stop doing things the week before.
Hey, that seems like a really good idea. Once again, if you are a TO and you have an event, I don't care if it's your monthly, like, get your stream overlays done. I've seen TOs at their monthlies. Matches are going. It is on stream and they have the wrong, or they have like last month's dates or whatever on their monthlies. Like, if you have a stream, at least like put forth the effort to make it look good. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's just like really minor things that I don't know. I'm convinced that a lot of people who are currently in the game for like TO stream whatever purposes, it's just like it's a lack of professionalism across the board. And I feel like that and it's been acceptable because we've always been grassroots or whatever. It's like I don't know. I think it's a load of shit, honestly.
No, it's definitely something that needs to change. Like, especially with streaming being one of the most obvious ways to make money in esport is like if you're a production company where you get views and you have YouTube and you have Twitch and you have subscribers, like that's a very real thing for all of us now. Like before, like a couple of years ago, it probably wasn't, but now like we know, hey, if you get this many subscribers, you get this many views or whatever, you get this much money. And now it's an actual business model for some people. Whereas like TOing or even being a player isn't really consistent. What streamers, it can be pretty consistent if you do your job right. So like this is a living for a lot of people, and like things just have to change across the board.
Yeah. A lot of people need to approach this like it's a professional job, regardless of if you're TOing just in your off time and you just did an 8-hour shift at work. It doesn't matter because like there are still people that whose livelihoods are based on this that you have to deal with. And like if you do a shitty job, like you're just damaging the whole community because the people who are putting their livelihood into it, now they're screwed or they're getting flack because you were like, I'm just doing a monthly or whatever. But like you can still really damage someone's.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was about to say like I feel really bad for Gimmer, and like they had 4 streamers there, and there were 4 entire streams that were down, and I know, you know, Brawlhalla and Rivals Vayseth, like the developers, or at least the Brawlhalla ones for sure, they put a lot of effort into making sure that their game was like out there, and it wasn't just like the CEO stream, and it wasn't just the VGBC stream. It was all 4 streams were down like almost all of Friday, and like that was just terrible. So
Yeah. Here, something that weird that happened though was like ESA Smash randomly was live with stuff. Well, what happened with
yeah,
that?
I'm gonna bring that up a little bit later when we talk about the whole 2GG ESA mix up. But yeah, even at some point we had ESA Smash, which I believe it was Bam was out there with either a phone or I don't know how he was doing it, but he was basically like live streaming the event. However, he was doing that, like whether it was from a phone or a camera, like with a portable setup, I don't know. But like, yeah, ESA Smash went up because Bam was there, and he was like, "Well, I got to record these matches." I guess he was trying to be the next ally, Mr. ConCon or whatever.
Hey man, respect.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to lose that content. But then again, on Friday it was doubles, and you know how we feel about doubles. Really, nothing was lost. You had 0 viewers all day. You're gonna have 0 viewers anyway. No, I'm just joking. But if there was one day to have a 5 to 6 hour delay on your stream, I guess that was fine. I guess it was more like 4 to 5 hours. I think it was finally live about 5 o'clock or something like that. No,
I just
I don't remember.
For perspective, like, we're trying to be an esport. Could you imagine if like NALCS, like, their finals went down for 6 hours, or like, even to put it further, like Capcom Cup, if Capcom Cup was just down for 6 hours, or even like sports. Could you imagine if like an NFL broadcast on Sunday was just not live for 6 hours?
No, there's absolutely no way that would happen. That's actually funny. I think there was only one time in history that I can think about, at least in my lifetime, and that was when like the lights went out at, I think, the Super Bowl. Do you remember that?
I remember hearing something about it, about at a football game, the lights went down or something, and I don't actually know what that was, but that was a thing.
And the fact that which I'm assuming by your answer, you're not really into sports, right? I can assume that.
No, not really.
See, so even you, who's not really into sports, heard about that, or at least has some recollection about it. So
yeah,
for something like that to go down for an extended period of time, like, makes the news. Yet for us, it's just like a normal reality. It doesn't even make the news anymore, which is a problem.
Yeah, there's like not even posts about it on Reddit. People are just like, yeah, it's a Smash tournament. Stream's usually not live.
It drives me insane. Like, everything needs to be on time, and like, I try really hard, but it's always something. But I mean, Frostbite was fine. Even with the troubles we had, we still did it. So
yeah, Frostbite had almost no venue issue, no internet issue, anything like that. We just had like a rogue update almost screw us over, but we fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you try everything that you can, and still something always finds a way. So we're not blaming anybody. We're not blaming the TOs or the streamers or whatever. But the only thing we're actually blaming them on is the overlays. Because come on, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man. Like, deadlines. Let's as a unit, everybody get on deadlines.
When's the next major? Because maybe we should like tweet at the tournament. Like, we should make it a meme from the set count like 2 weeks before. Just like tag everybody in a major and just be like,
like,
hey guys, are your overlays done? Are your overlays done? It's 2 weeks out. That's the new deadline for all majors that we're keeping you all to. I'm pretty concerned about that. I'm going to do it for CEO for sure. For sure that's going to happen. And
I don't know. I would hope that Jabali's a great TO, and I would hope that he learned his lesson to like stop allowing this like lackadaisical attitude within the fighting game community to just continue in regards to deadlines.
Or it looks like Gimmer wasn't even the one in charge. He was just kind of there, kind of like CEO last year. And whoever was on the main channel just screwed up again. So
I have no idea. I mean, I don't know who they hired for overlays or whatever. But like,
I'm pretty sure it was Diamond, formerly of MVG. And like, the same thing happened last year at CEO, but MVG took the fall last year, and then this year it was the same guy, but he's no longer with the company. So, but he did the same thing again. So,
well, last year it wasn't the overlay issue. Last year, was it?
There was like a symphony of issues last year.
There was like different issues.
Yeah, it was basically, I think, I don't actually know the story, but basically MVG, I believe, thought that they were just a side stream, and then all of a sudden they were on CEO Gaming's main stage, and they're like, whoa, we don't know any of these games, we don't have this equipment. And they basically had to switch, because somebody said something and there was a miscommunication, and they were supposed to be on the mainstream, and they were not set up to be a mainstream. At least I believe that. Yeah, at least I believe that that's what happened. But like, yeah, they used the same guy this year, and yeah,
that guy might not have a job anymore, man.
I don't know, man. Have never met him. I don't know anything about him, but that's why I was saying I didn't want to like talk too much about rumors. But
right? Yeah. We're a podcast. We're kind of supposed to talk about rumors. A little bit, at least.
I mean, like, I'm just looking at tweets and, like, just seeing what's publicly out there and just saying it. Like, anything that is mentioned in DMs, obviously I'm not saying, but, like this is just things that are tweeted
Right.
out there. Like, people are like, who's
Right,
hurt?
like-
And then somebody said it was Diamond. And then I looked up Diamond, and Diamond was the guy from CEO last year. And it's like, oh, he's been working for Jabali and screwed up 2 events now. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah. So, I mean, we weren't involved in any way, I think, with CEO this year, or at least Dreamland.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're behind the scenes, but we're not like in everything. So,
Yeah.
we kind of have as much information as a lot of people on Twitter right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can always talk to Bear and or Gimmer, but, like, even if we did, like, they're obviously stressed out, and you don't want to, like, bother them while they're in the middle of something like that. But, you know, whatever. But, yeah. Turn in your overlays on time. We are going to start tweeting out as a rumor, or not as a rumor, as a meme to all tournaments. 2 weeks out
Get
from
your
the set account. Just tag all the streamers and the tournament organization official Twitter and be like, "Hey guys, it's 2 weeks out. Are your overlays done?" We should seriously just do that.
Currently, 90% of the time you're gonna get no.
We need to find out, like, and just start tweeting people, like, so that way they know that's
So that way they know we're making fun of them for not hitting deadlines.
Oh my god. All right,
but
yeah.
yeah, let's move on to another fun little thing that happened.
Yeah, speaking of Twitter and social media and things not going the way that you thought they were, everyone got really bent out of shape about the Shine trailer, which we watched before we started recording this episode, and we both laughed, thinking it was awesome and a good joke, and very obviously not, like, malicious or, like, not a problem. And I'm sure the entire Shine staff felt the same way, like, right?
I mean, they all would have had to approve that trailer, so obviously they felt that way. So,
Even though,
for those that don't know,
yeah.
the Shine trailer that released at CEO Dreamland, it had like a CRT and it was like slowly zooming in. There was a bunch of stuff talking about, like, a bunch of little clips of people talking about Melee HD, right? And then it scrolls past the CRT and then comes back, and it's an announcement for Brawlhalla at Shine 2017.
Right. It's like they teased Melee HD, but they said for the first time ever at Shine featuring, and, like, it looks like it's going to be Melee HD. Of course it's not. And it says Brawlhalla. And everyone lost their mind.
They were, like, mad. Like, people were genuinely mad.
Like, I don't understand. Like, Reddit was pissed. Like, everyone on Twitter, like, I watched it, and it wasn't until, like, between sets I was checking my phone and checking Reddit or whatever, and I just saw so many people angry about it. And I still, to this day, don't understand.
I was looking through the YouTube comments on the video, and it was like, you guys fucked up, Brawlhalla's dead, we're gonna kill you. Like, oh my god, relax, guys. Alright, so, like, to be fair, it was kind of a poor taste joke. A little bit, right? Because, I mean, like, Melee being in the sour spot of Nintendo has always been, like, people don't really like it, and so... But, first off, why is the Melee HD trailer premiering at freaking CEO Dreamland of all places?
There's no way something as big as... Yeah, there's no way something as big as that would be at CEO Dreamland.
Yeah, like... 2, the trailer looked like ass.
Yeah.
Like, it was a funny trailer, but I feel like the quality was intentional. Like, guys, this really isn't, like, Melee HD. Like, chill out, dude. Like, the CRT looked... that they're, like, zooming in on, like, it just looked awful.
And, like, they wouldn't use people like Hungry Box's stream and stuff like that in the official release trailer. Like, are you guys kidding me right now?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It was just, like, this whole thing... You're not going to see it premiere on VG Bootcamp's channel.
No. I mean,
Like,
maybe one day.
Maybe one day, but that's an announcement. That's like an E3 or like a Nintendo Direct dedicated to Smash type thing. That's where you'll see it. Anywhere else, I would just instantly assume it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, while our deadlines are a joke, we can't obviously have really good things like that, so... If we got the overlays on time, maybe Nintendo would have given us a Melee HD trailer, you know what I'm saying?
Then they'd have 2 weeks to finish it.
Yeah, I know. You could just put it in to the overlay itself. It could just be playing the whole time. But yeah, anyway, enough on that. That's the new meme. That is happening. But yeah, at the end of the day, Shine suffered a little bit, but like I guess I gotta ask you, is there really no such thing as bad publicity in Smash? Because I think if you're a tournament organization and you piss off a whole bunch of potential people going to your tournament, that actually might be the first example that I can think of that bad publicity or no publicity is bad publicity actually doesn't work.
No publicity is bad, or bad publicity is like good or whatever.
No such thing as bad publicity, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. I was like stumbling for my words. That one. It only really applies when you don't have something to sell.
Right.
And you're trying to sell your tournament. So all these people that are now mad at Shine, mad at whoever like cleared this trailer. And here's like the bigger issue to me is when you're at Shine now and Brawlhalla Top 8 is going on, you're going to just have a bunch of melee dudes booing you.
Oh, it's not only that. Well, like, first of all, Shine threw Matt.Zeb under the bus immediately. They're like, this was Matt.Zeb, not us. This was Matt.Zeb, Matt.Zeb, Matt.Zeb. And then, like, Jabali also said, you know, this had nothing to do with us. It was Matt.Zeb. Brawlhalla's like, this had nothing to do with us. It was Matt.Zeb. So, hey, Matt.Zeb. Nice joke. I appreciate it. Like, T.O.'s only dream of shitpost this legendary.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Shine would throw him under the bus because, like, they had to approve it. It might have been Matt.Zeb's idea, but it's not like, unless he, like, went over their heads and just gave it to CEO, but then CEO should also be approving it, unless they're literally just like, hey, CEO, we have a trailer. Cool, put it on.
Yeah, I don't...
In that case, we have a whole other set of issues to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, kind of reminds me of, like, the Civil War trailer at Frostbite. Like, maybe, I don't know. Like, sometimes trailers don't work out at tournaments. Like, that's fine.
It could have been one of those things where they bought the slot and they got them the trailer maybe an hour before, so they didn't have a chance to vet it. That was what happened to us at Frostbite, where we got the Civil War trailer super late, and it was like 20 seconds long, and it just was like, okay, that was it. Moving on.
Yeah. I don't know. Once again, we should also tweet out to sponsors, be like, hey, it's 2 weeks out from the event. Do you have your trailers into the major of your choice yet?
I think the only thing, some trailers do want to use footage from that tournament.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
for
understand
sure.
getting them the day before, and that's fine. It's just like, yeah, it's probably on the streamers now to start vetting trailers a lot more, and to start doing, I feel like all streamers should just demand a certain loudness level, like perceived loudness on their trailers, so that all trailers are the same.
Oh,
currently
you mean like actual decibels?
Yeah, well, there's decibels and there's perceived loudness. They're like technically not the same thing, but even if you did decibels, like even if you said this is where we want it hit on every trailer, please do that when you render it and just like hard limit it and make sure it's not, because like, you know how some trailers, like if they're played back to back, it's like one's really loud and then the next one comes in and it talks like this.
Yeah, that's got to be a pain in the butt to mix.
Yeah, so like normally we just, I mean, because we have an audio guy, so we just ride the fader and just adjust volume as we go. But it'd be nice if we could just like turn on a couple trailers and like not have to worry about like destroying somebody's headphones.
I think that just the whole process should probably be more rehearsed and streamlined and storyboarded. Like,
yeah,
there's just a lot of things that we need to do where it's like, this is our goal, so maybe like the next time you and I, for example, do a tournament, which is probably sooner than most people think, we'll just have to sit down, and before we even announce the tournament, we should probably just start with this is what we want top 8 to look like, and we should just sell the entire tournament to ourselves first.
What you're saying, it's storyboard is more for like a pre-planned production. It's called a run of show in like TV and sports broadcasting.
But I meant by storyboarding specifically was for things like top 8 videos, like have those actually storyboarded.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
sure,
you're right.
Sure.
The run of show, because like top 8 videos is something I think is like very, like what goes into making those is like so cool. But yeah, it's also a lot of work if you don't have a lot of staff working on it. and those all need to be storyboarded in advance because people are looking for specific clips to put into that trailer. Because some of it's made in advance, some of it isn't. So like that's something you have to cut kind of on the fly. But anyway, like you were saying, the run of show.
Yeah, so Run of Show literally goes through shot by shot and like cue by cue and all these transitions, like the transition style. If there's anything a commentator or an MC or someone is supposed to say, what cameras you're cutting to, and it's literally listed in order of like how an opening of a show should go, how a match should go, and specific things that you need to hit. So like when you're doing trailers and things like that, that would be listed in the Run of Show. And like for example, when we did the Gears of War event, like the entire opening was almost scripted. Like the commentators could say what they wanted in between things, but they had to say in a very specific way. When they threw to the MC, they had to say it this way. When they threw it to, like, when they were talking about like Twitter and join the conversation type stuff, they had to say it in this very specific way because we brought up a bug that would show information. So like it's just you see that in an esport, and it's like, wow, that's very professional, and like that's what it should be. And then Smash is just like, oh, we're live? Cool. All right, commentators, let's talk about some stuff.
Yeah, except for Tokage, I guess. Like, yeah, it's something that everyone definitely needs to work on, and we all probably. I guess we could just lead by example. Say, let's just do this, whatever.
Yeah, but it's funny because like Gears of War is a tier 3 or tier 4 esport. It's like under Smash, like significantly under Smash, in terms of sponsorship like interest. Smash, I believe, is tier 2 bordering tier 3 sometimes. It like fluctuates in there. Gears is like no one gives a shit about it.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised when you mentioned that you were doing that, but that's like super cool.
Yeah, I mean Microsoft still supports it, but like viewership wise and stuff, way under Smash. I think we hit like 35 maybe, or no, we hit like 45K, and we almost like doubled their like last peak viewership from their next biggest major.
Wow.
So like it's really not that big, but you see what goes into it, and it's way more professional and way more just like, I guess they're way more focused on what they're doing.
Yeah. It's because they have 2 weeks with notice, right? I mean, like
2 weeks notice, man. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
2 weeks notice.
Everyone put in your 2 weeks notice right now. Like, make sure you do it. All right, but Shine wasn't the only flub at Dreamland. We had 2GG for the first time suffer criticism to the delight. Some may say the delight of our number one fan, Trent. I don't know if you saw that, but like there was a lot of people who did not like what happened with 2GG, and to not throw any shade, just to be very, very clear, I will read the tweets. So the tweet in question was first by 2GG. We assume it was Champ, who says, "Sorry for being uninformed, but where can I watch Dreamland? I'm at the Twitch channel they listed on their site, but it's offline. Help," with a praying, or like hands together praying emoji. Now, what the story is from the 2GG side is Champ was at work. He was trying to watch it, like with the limited time he had. He has 20,000 followers. Why don't I just ask them? Which is a completely legitimate story. You believe that, right?
Yeah, honestly, I could believe it. I don't know. It's so weird. It's like it has so much potential shade in it,
right?
But like I can't
the
tell.
Obvious one, right? Like that was kind of like what everyone was saying. That was the official story from 2GG side. But what it looks like when you're 2GG and you follow the people you do, and literally everyone was talking on Friday about how the stream was down and how like there was this near-death experience and how the overlays weren't in, and like they definitely follow Gimmer. They definitely follow Jabali, especially since they retweeted him immediately after this tweet. Like, and they had two guys from ESA, both 2GG ESA former guest, or March's guest, Bam, was there. Like, he could have just messaged them to say like what's going on. So a lot of people thought that this was just a very obvious way of saying, hey, we want you to say that the stream for CEO is down.
Right. It looks like shade. It looks like he's throwing shade.
Right. So, of course, Jabali sees this, is notified about it somehow, and he replies. And his reply says, maybe ask the guys you flew over to scout my event, or follow our official channels. Why? I should charge for the free badges I gave them. Whoa. So, ESA sent Luke who is like a head financial guy over there. You met Luke, right?
Yeah, he's like an event. He's the lead event manager, coordinator guy, and does a lot of stuff for ESA.
Yeah, he was at Genesis 4 as well. He does make the Smash rounds, although he himself will be the first to admit that he doesn't really know a ton about Smash, even though he's learning. And Bam is the formerly of 2GG, or I guess still technically with 2GG, and he's their Smash. What's the official Smash liaison or Smash coordinator for ESA? Like he works for ESA now, and they go to other events and they kind of just see like what other people are doing. Mingle, sort of support like the ESA brand, etc. So that's where like the confusion came out, where like Jabali thought that these were like 2GG guys, which obviously you would think that they were, and it just over amplified. Why would he be asking on official channels if 2GG guys are at the event that he could just simply ask? So it just doesn't look good.
Right. It's like it's so hard. You can't tell if it's really shade. Jabali, like, he clap backed. Like, he was like, no, dude, this is shade.
Everybody here is like, I'm just like going over the things again. I see Trent talking in here. I see everybody just the Jabali tweet alone has an insane amount of replies. And this
The
tweet
Jabali
itself,
tweet was like, if it actually was shade, the Jabali tweet was godlike.
right. It's just so hard to tell, especially since, as we talked about before the show, that English isn't Champ's first language. So subtlety and nuance could be lost.
It's very possible that he was literally being genuine, but at the same time, it's also possible that that's a scapegoat and they can just throw shade whenever they want and be like, oh, it's just Champ, he's adorable.
Right, and like his thousands of fans are never going to assume that he's doing anything bad, because like he's only up until this point done amazing things for the community. So everyone was actually kind of blown away, and they gave him the benefit of the doubt for this tweet, right? And they both kind of like agreed that like, there was a big miscommunication in public, and they made up about it. Jabali even posted a picture of him, Luke, and Bam together in front of Wispy, but Luke and Bam were wearing DBZ Scouters. So he's like the Scouts from 2GG Gaming. And the best thing was he called Luke Strides, and Strides was like, what are you talking about? I'm not there. That's not me. So it was perfect. All is well that ends well, blah, blah, blah. Until Sunday, where VGBC, I believe, was on sub-only mode for chat. And, there was a limit on like the chat and like what was going on. And 2GG's tweet during that time says, look at all these new subs on VG Bootcamp so they can talk. Stream monsters are the best. First comment and most popular comment or reply to this tweet was from TK Breezy, where he says, Champ, you gotta let someone proof your tweets, dog. I know this isn't shade, but it looks like hella shade. And this time people were a lot less forgiving of Champ. Like, we have Cosmos on here saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, some people saying, Champ, I love you, that's so awesome. And then some people arguing about whether or not you should have chat on or not. But a lot of people say that it looks like shade, and they were way less forgiving of this tweet.
To me, yeah, having already said it, one tweet with potential shade and now a second tweet with potential shade, it looks really bad.
Yeah.
To be fair, if the other tweet wasn't there, this tweet just looks like some guy whose English wasn't his first language, just like genuinely being like, I love Stream Monsters. Congratulations to VGBC with all their new subs. But because of the previous potential shade, this looks even more like shade now.
Yeah, and like the thing is, this isn't the first time 2GG has done this either. Like, they've done this to other people. They've done it to us. Like, they do these all the time, and it's kind of like, on one way, it could be miscommunication. On the other, they could be just pandering to their fan base, which really loves memes and stuff like that, and like they like ego accounts. But let's be 100% clear: your main organization account cannot be an ego account. You can't just say whatever you want on your account.
I don't know. It's, to me, like, have someone they need to just dedicate someone to their social media to not do stuff like that. It looks pretty bad. Maybe not to like, maybe fans are gonna think it's funny, but like other community members, like, and people who have the potential to work with 2GG are not gonna be happy. Like,
Yeah.
Gimmer and Jabali seeing this are not like, yeah, 2GG's funny. They're like, they're gonna be pissed.
Right. It's I don't know. It's a respect thing. Like, as a member of the business we know that 2GG's had streaming issues before. They've definitely had tournament issues before. You know, they know how stressful it is, and seeing stuff like that from somebody who should know firsthand exactly the kind of stuff that they're going through, and to see it kind of like thrown away, or almost like they're reveling in their competitions. You know, we're not saying that there was, because the official story isn't that they did this, but like it could look like their competition is having trouble, and they're like, look at us, we're 2GG, we never have any problems, fans love us even more. And like that's what a lot of people thought it was.
Here's the other thing: you can't just potentially throw shade, and then if people view it as shade and like you get called out on it, you can't just be like, "Oh, sorry guys, that wasn't supposed to be shade. It was just bad English." Like, you gotta own up.
Yeah, I mean, and like it didn't even get better if you just look at their tweets and replies over the whole weekend. Like all of it was just kind of like a fumbling mess. Like they say, "Oh, DeBuzz is the only player to get top 8 at Civil War and at Dreamland," and everyone and their mother was like, Mars?" And their response was, "Haha, I'm sorry, it must have been bad intel from our scouts." Like, really? Come on. Like,
Yeah, like you just got put on blast for that.
you can't just turn it into a meme. That's not how it works. But I learned that the hard way. And I think all of us just at the end of the day need to learn that like what we post on the internet stays up there, and people can take it, especially when it's on Twitter where you only have 140 characters. They can take it whatever way you want, and like you're just stuck with their impression of what you said.
Yeah, man. I am like maximum esports on my Twitter accounts, both Unrivaled and my own personal one.
Yeah, I haven't been. I managed to piss off the entirety of Central Florida one time, and that was fun.
What? You never told me what happened with that.
So, my side of the story is that there was a couple threads talking about who's the best in Florida, and somebody in the thread said MVG is not considered Central Florida, because originally I was like, yeah, Central Florida is the best, because I was going to move down there, and like we have Salem and Mewtwo King, like obviously Central Florida's got to be the best. And somebody said, well, MVG doesn't count. So I was like, well, if MVG doesn't count, I guess we're our own thing. So I was just throwing shade at everybody. I was like, South Florida sucks, Central Florida sucks. I was saying everybody sucks, right? So without that context, and if you just screen clipped me saying Central Florida sucks, like, it looks really bad. So somebody just saw that tweet of mine and went, wait, what the fuck? And said, yo, Vayseth says that, you know, we suck, blah, blah, blah. But that was just me talking to the South people about how much Central Florida sucks. Like, nobody saw how much I was talking about South Florida or anywhere else, like, as, like, MVG, because everyone was just throwing shade at each other. So I was just like, well, for our own island, I'll throw some shade or whatever. And, like, I learned the hard way that, like, now I represent, you know, a region and a brand, and, you know, normally myself, I don't care. Like, this is how I talk to Michigan people. Like, and we all joke about it and whatever. But, like, in Florida, I guess it was a very, especially Central Florida, I learned about their history, and I guess it was a really sensitive issue because they've always been, like, kind of like little brother of the Florida scene, and not seen on the same power level. So I actually just, like, basically triggered the entire region because they were just like, what are you saying? And, like, I guess they're, like, very insecure about their power level and whatnot. So that's just something you don't troll about, and I trolled about it, and I got in trouble. So
yeah, be careful with your social media accounts. If you're trying to represent a company, or if you're trying to be a figurehead in the community, just be esports like to the max, and accept that you don't get to make funny jokes all the time.
No, I'm gonna make funny jokes all the time. I just know not to. I just know to be a bit better about going about it, because
yeah, like, I mean, you can have humor. Like, I'm not saying be dry as hell, but, like, be careful. Like, you can't really fake throw shade because somebody will treat it as you're actually throwing shade. there's ways that you can do it and there's ways that you can't.
I guess it's kind of like me and Bear on Twitter. Like, nobody, like, ever says, wow, Vayseth's talking shit about Bear, or like, wow, Bear's talking shit about Vayseth, because we just do that all the time. And like I spent the entirety of CEO making fun of Bear's selfies, and nobody was like, oh my god, Vayseth's throwing shade, because like it's just so obvious that like that's
it's like,
the relationship
it's
we have, right? Like, well, that's also the relationship we have. You see us at events, and we're just as bad, like. And that's just, like, anybody who knows that. But, like, nobody knows the relationship between Jabali and 2GG, so it looks really bad.
Yeah, definitely. So,
like, if they were homies... social media. Yeah, if they were homies, then everybody... It wouldn't matter, you know? Now it looks like they're homies if Jabali's posting them with scouters on. But, like, you know, it's... Yeah, TLDR, don't be an idiot on social media like me. So
unless you have nothing to lose, if you're just like a random player and you don't care, throw as much shade as you want.
Yeah, I mean that's all you got to do. But yeah, that was a lot of stuff going on this past weekend. A lot of things, a lot of lessons learned. But anyway, we want to transition here into the run back. We want to get as many of these questions answered, and we're going to do 2 of them today. And usually Suar reads, but since you took over for him in the numbers, why don't you take for him in the run back?
That was awful.
I'm
keeping it in, but I'm also going to make fun of you of how bad that was.
It's just like, we're bad at impressions, we're bad at overlays, we're bad at a lot of things. Community, we need to step it up.
Were you trying to do like the music segment that I made for it? Or like,
yeah.
Were you trying to do like some sort of Spanish mariachi? Like...
No, it was definitely... All right, never mind. Just read the question.
Run back.
Okay, the run back. All right, so our first question comes from, he's actually sent us questions before. Tag is Wigwag, sent us on Gmail. In light of the whole situation that happened with Nairo's sub-tournament, with Wrath playing under his friend's name in order to win the tournament from a low seed, it makes me wonder about the regulation on things like this happening in the future. Obviously, in-person tournaments won't have as much of an issue with this, with high-stakes online tournaments being run in the form of key to the PG houses and other things like that. How can a situation like this be prevented in the future? Is there any proper way to regulate this, or will this lead to the end of online tournaments like those being run? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, actually, yeah, you're probably the perfect person to ask, because you do a lot of the PG keys, right?
I do all of the PG keys.
What?
We've done every single one except for PG key to the final round.
Oh, okay. No, I meant like you specifically. So like you have a lot of experience with these.
Oh, yeah. So is it preventable? In an online-only tournament, probably not. Here's the thing that's for like PG key. Like if Wrath won under a different name and then flew out and it was Wrath that just like showed up and like, hey guys, I'm this dude. It's like, obviously we know who you are. Like, you're going to get blacklisted. You're going to get banned, like kicked out of the event and all this other good stuff. Like, they're going to probably cancel your flight home. Like, now you just have to deal with this.
I don't know if they'll go that far, but like...
I don't know. I would. It was like, you... Personally, like that... now you got to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, a PG key, like you said, because you actually... The prize is a in-flight... Or a flight to a tournament where you have to be you. It's a lot harder to kind of, like, fudge that. I mean... Then again, like, what if... Alright, here's an idea. Like, I like to cheat, so this is a way that I would cheat. Why did I just admit that? We just talked about social media. Anyway, let's say I'm having trouble with a character, and I'm sitting next to my friend who plays well against that character. Maybe they use a different one. So after I get bodied game 1, what if I suddenly pull out this amazing counterpick character and just reverse 2-0 them and move on in bracket, right? Who could possibly prove that?
No one. It is literally a flaw in design of, like, online tournaments. You can come up with the most ridiculous scenario and be like, everyone has to be on Skype with the broadcaster and have webcams up so that they can see you playing.
And make sure that we can't actually play because the lag is so atrocious.
And, like, even then, like, you could just have a controller in your hand, act like you're playing, and have a dude off camera.
Right.
Like, it's literally impossible to deal with that.
I don't know how you regulate that. You just have to do it on an honor system, and that's probably one of the reasons why we don't see serious online tournaments is because it is so easy to, like, I don't know how would you prove it by. No, I can't even think if you could prove it by Nintendo ID, because like you said, like even if you had cameras set up, you could pretend like you're playing, and it could be plugged in to a different person playing off screen, and like you would never know.
Yeah, you can't send a judge to every dude's house.
Yeah.
So I think it's a forever issue in high stakes online tournaments you may never see. But like, here's the other thing: if you give your controller to your friend, your tournament status is now in their jeopardy. Like, if your friend just SDs, what are you're gonna tell the organizer? Oh, my friend was playing for me.
Yeah, I don't think there's any good way to go about it. And I've heard that some people want to try to take online ladders seriously. So, like, this question's actually somewhat relevant now because people are talking about, potentially doing ladders for money. Like, didn't All Is Brawl... I wasn't actually in the US for when All Is Brawl got big. But, like, didn't All Is Brawl have, like, cash prizes or something?
They had something, I think. I know, like, the game battle or whatever is currently trying to do stuff. So, like, here's my thing. Like, if multiple players play across one account, like, I guess it is what it is. You have to be in the same Wii U or, like, logged in or whatever. Like, you can't stop that. But then I think the bigger issue for if you're going to do ladders is, like, what if Zero and Persistent Blade, which, by the way, we never got to that last episode, so I'm going to explain that real quick.
Wait, what did we talk about last time?
The Persistent Blade? I never explained the story.
Oh, okay.
So Zero, Persistent Blade. Zero was on Anther's ladder. He was, but not as Zero. He was going under the tag Persistent Blade and playing only Lucina. And he got to first on Anther's ladder as Persistent Blade. But, like, here's the bigger issue when you do, like, money-associated things, is that now all of a sudden you have the ability to, let's say Zero wanted to just play game battles and wanted to put in multiple accounts, and he goes as Persistent Blade for one account, and he goes as Zero for another account, and he goes as a whatever for a third account, and just grinds the ladder the whole time, gets first, second, third. You're paying out the same guy 3 times now.
Yeah, there'd have to be... You want to know what? This has really made me interested to see how Magic Online does this. Because, like, even pros, to hide who they are, have multiple different accounts to make sure that, like, people don't realize who they are specifically. Like, they have, like, ones where they record content or whatever, and, like, those go out there, and then they have their tournament one, and etc. I should actually look into what Magic the Gathering does, because usually whenever I don't know what to do in Smash, I usually look to Magic or some other esport, because chances are that esport has had the same
Somebody's
problem.
already done this.
Right.
Somewhere.
Right.
Here's the only way that currently, just like off the top of my head, I can think of, is like technically winnings are taxable income, and you have to fill out a WT, or you get sent a W-2 or fill out a W-9 or something for it, which involves your social security number, and that's like the only thing that you cannot have multiple of. Like, you just have that. So if all of a sudden they're paying out a dude and they come across 2 of the same social security numbers, like, now there's a problem, and now you just scrap all payment for that guy or something. You threaten them and losing their money, and now it becomes a much more feasible solution.
Yeah. I mean, also, I guess it comes to the fact that, like, if you're coming to claim a prize, you have to claim a prize as an individual, so it's kind of hard to game the system, but, like, if it comes out at the end, like what it did with the Nairo tournament, that, hey, the prize doesn't go to the guy who's supposed to, then the whole tournament is kind of a wash at that point, and then the organizer has something to do with it. So it's just kind of like a risk that we don't really want to deal with right now until we have better protections for it, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine that, like, if somebody approached me and they were like, you have to do this, like, that would be my plan, is that, like, this is income that you have to register. You have to go through, like, all the proper taxes, so you have to put your social security number in. And I'd be like, if it comes out during payment process that you entered as multiple accounts and won money on, like, multiple accounts or whatever, like, all money won is forfeit, and it goes to the next couple placings. So, like, let's say you got first, third, and fifth, like, that would all get scrapped and everyone would get moved up one.
Yeah. Either way, I'm not a huge fan of online tournaments. Too many variables that could go wrong that kind of make me nervous. But it is something I definitely would look forward to once we have better infrastructure for us, because it just opens up the ability for so many more people to enjoy Smash.
Yeah, someone's gonna make it like a good system somewhere, and I would be super happy to see like a great system come out where you can impersonate. But moving on to our second question and last question of this episode, we have a question from Dinkle on Gmail, actually an Ohio player. He says, my question is, when you're looking at hiring staff for your organization or events, what all goes in the process to do that? Is it recommendation based and name recognition, or is there a factor of the application, or no, is there a factor of the applicants just fitting the bill for the best of the situation? I've been trying to get into the scene by putting my name out there for social media work, but not many chances are available for that unless you know a guy who knows a guy, or you happen to be a streamer graphic effect artist, which I plan on branching into. So
this is tricky.
It's tough. Hiring people, there's a lot that goes into it. Not just name. Sometimes it is just someone you know.
I mean, a lot of the times it is.
Yeah, a lot of the times.
Because you go with somebody that you've seen either do the job before, and you're like, I like that guy or girl. I like that person who did that job, and I want to use them for my event, or I want to use them again, or the exact opposite, where you see them do a crappy job at a tournament, or they do a crappy job at one of your tournaments. You're like, okay, I'm never using that guy again, or I won't hire that guy. You know, that's just kind of how it works, and it's just kind of trial and error like any other thing. But basically, when I'm looking for somebody to fill a position, I need to first see what I already have in my banks. Like, I'm obviously going to look to you first, Sage. And then if there's somebody I don't have, then I'll ask for recommendations. And that's generally how I do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's hard. You don't want to hire someone that's super green, because at least, like, you want them to at least, like, show that they can do it for a small organization or monthly series or whatever you're hiring for. And then on top of that, there's, like, so many different things. But to be fair, like, I want to go about this. Like, for Unrivaled tournaments, a lot of the people that we've hired, like, when we first started, it was just a bunch of us that wanted to do it together. And then, like, we've added people into our rosters that we've known and know do good work and have worked with them in the past. Though this summer, we're adding an intern for the first time who we've never worked with and is getting hired solely based off a skill set.
That's sick.
So, like, great. That's super cool. So, like, you can do it if you have the proper skill set. Here's the thing, like, you're asking about social media work. That's a tough one. Not a lot of people are willing to, like, hire somebody out for social media right now, because it's not a job. It definitely is a job. Like, it's a super important job, but there's also a lot of other super important jobs that need to get filled first before people worry about their social media.
I don't know. As somebody who's, like, kind of adapted to the social media thing, it just kind of comes a little bit more natural to me. So I guess I put a little bit more of a priority on it. But it's kind of hard. Like, I think.
But, like, would you hire for Frostbite someone to do all of Frostbite's social media?
It was actually like a team, you know?
Right, but those team members also had other jobs, right? Like, you didn't have a dedicated social media guy.
No, we did. So there's a dedicated person for certain kind of posts, a dedicated person who just made sure to tweet, like, every day. And then there was a dedicated person at event whose, like, job was to, this is what's coming up next. Make sure you tweet out, like, what's going on, so constantly people stay updated and it's constantly in people's feeds. So we had dedicated people, but they were different people across different jobs in social media.
But I'm saying, like, those guys that tweeted, that what their job in the broad scale of Frostbite wasn't just to tweet. Like, they had other things that they helped with.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, like, looking for social media work right now, I think at the current stage that Smash is in, is, I guess, shooting yourself in the foot a little bit if you're just marketing yourself as that, because most people aren't able to hire that, or aren't willing to hire that.
No, you'd have to be really good.
You'd have to have some ridiculous like resume of social media work.
You'd have to be somebody on the level of either Anti or like Panda Global, but those are people who just like learn social media on their own. So,
And they also do other things. Like, yeah, PG doesn't have a social media guy. It's just Alan sitting in his kitchen, like posting GIFs constantly.
yeah, that's basically what social media is. It's people at their day jobs posting memes and stuff. And that's all it is. Is the owner of Panda Global has one of the best social media departments ever, and is literally just the owner between patients at the hospital or the clinic or whatever, posting weird facial expressions of MVD and ESAM, and like they have 1 billion followers and everyone loves them.
Yeah. So currently, the biggest thing, unless you have a really, really great skill set that's important to a specific aspect of a role, like for me, the intern that I'm bringing on, I'm bringing her on as an editor / like director of photography. She is like does amazing work. She has like this really great resume that I'm able to look at and go, I can instantly find a use for you. Social media, like if I brought a social media guy on, like where else can I put him? That would be my question. And like if I don't immediately have an answer for that for an event, then I'm probably gonna just continue to do social media how I've been doing it.
No, you're absolutely right. We're not at the point yet where we can hire social media manager as a primary position. Like it is definitely a secondary or even tertiary position of other people's jobs.
Yeah, 100%. Like most of our social media is handled by Xylus, who does our code. And at an event like for Frostbite, we had 2 different people doing social media on top of other stuff. I had a guy doing like stats and marketing and stuff and social media, and then our makeup girl was also doing social media.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, especially if social media is really all you got to worry about it, because all you really need to do at event for social media is you need to have to be good. Like the fact that like conversations are happening, whether they're like super well worded or not, like they could be the most boring tweets ever. Just the fact that tweets are going out is more important than like what the actual content is, as long as it isn't, Shine or 2GG-esque.
Right. Like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to hire a social media guy because like I don't want to do it, but currently we just don't have the ability to.
You could always hit me up. I'll tweet for you.
The other thing is like with social media is that right now, like having not worked with us and being a small company, like you have to know the vision of the company and know it really well in order to like follow the tweet sort of thing.
Right. No, it's a very important thing, especially in the world we live in now, but it's definitely very underdeveloped. A lot of us are just kind of learning as we go, but I feel like, I think we said this last year, but I think by the time we reach 2018, we'll be making better strides. But I think, didn't you say 2016 is the last year with webcams? Like, I don't think I've seen webcams this year.
You still see it at like a monthly-ish level, but I've actually been getting a lot of messages from people like, what do I buy? Like people are converting from webcams into camcorders or full-on broadcast cameras, and that's cool. I like that. But you're always gonna see it at the local level, but like, I'm talking like tournament high-end level, like that shit's gotta stop. If you're running a monthly for 150 people or more, your goal should be to move off webcams. Even if it's just USB camcorders, it's still better than a webcam. It's also movable and you can put it on a tripod.
That's true. So either way, 2016 was the last year of webcams, and this is the last year of day before deadlines. There we go. When we wrapped up the whole show, we did it.
All right. So thank you to everyone who wrote in. We always appreciate the questions, and we hope that we gave you guys some insight, at least, to kind of some behind-the-scenes stuff. As always, if you guys want to write in for the runback, you can hit us up on social media, on Twitter, @thesetcount. You can DM us or tweet at us. And, of course, you can email us at thesetcount@gmail.com.
Yeah, I actually just put out a tweet reminding everybody, because we haven't been reminding people lately, to please tweet at us, DM us, or hit us up so that we can refill these runback banks because we're gonna need some pretty soon. We only got a couple left, so please hit us up and let us know what's going on. But yeah, we didn't have Suar this week, but it's pretty good talking to you and like just getting the lay of the land and talking about various different things that are going on. Next week, now that we don't have another major in April, the coming weeks will be a little dry until maybe I go back to Japan and then I can talk about going back to Japan again. Yay!
Yeah, I don't know when the next big event is, but I actually have a project, if you've seen some tweets regarding Twitch chat that I'm working on, so I hope to have some details that I can release about that soon.
Oh, that would be great. I would love to. That's a big issue that people are talking about. And we should also talk to Gimmer to find out if, just specifically what did happen with the whole chat thing. But yeah. Either way, thank you guys for checking in with us at the Set Count. This has been Vayseth.
This has been Sage.
And we will catch you guys next week.